Welcome back to the Beast Game Podcast, and this is going to be a review for Searching. It's directed by Anish Chingadi, and it's written by Anish Chingadi and Seb Olyan, and it stars John Cho, Deborah Messing, and Joseph Lee. And the synopsis is, after his 16-year-old daughter goes missing, a desperate father breaks into her laptop to look for clues to find her. The movie starts off with home video of John Cho meeting his wife, and then them getting married, having a child, single child, their daughter growing up.
It's like a video diary.
Yeah, and eventually his wife develops cancer, her decline, and then how all that affects John Cho and his daughter. So his daughter is very intelligent, very bright. She plays music. They have a fairly good relationship. She goes off to school. She calls him saying that she's at a study group. That study group is supposed to go late. And he's just like, yeah, you got to take out the trash. And this is all through iMessage.
FaceTime.
Yeah, right
stuff,
now.
Yeah.
So eventually she doesn't come home. He tries to figure out what happened to her. He starts talking to her friends. There's something more going on. So a police detective gets involved. And that's kind of where we'll stop. And James, what did you think of Searching?
I liked it a lot. This is how you would do a suspense thriller using nothing but webcams, social media, nothing but phones and just internet. This is how you would do it. There have been movies like Unfriended and Friend Request and all that stuff that kind of tried to show their pitch on it.
Yeah,
it wasn't that great.
What James is trying to say is that everything with this involves some form of technology, whether it be video
surveillance
chat,
technology, cameras, webcams, something.
Cell phone cameras, CCTV cameras, television, news. It's all just
social
shot
media,
from the perspective,
YouTube.
so it's not a standard shot movie.
Right.
Like webcams and shit? Like,
yeah, so if you see Unfriended or Friend Request, those type of movies.
Matter of fact, VHS had a scene where it was all through Skype, stuff like that. I mean, that was actually done very well. But this whole movie is all that. There is nothing that's just like regular shot from a movie perspective. Everything is through social media.
Yeah, so text messages,
all this stuff.
Message,
Everything.
Skype, or and Instagram. It's all that type of stuff.
I even think they had Google Hangouts on there.
Yeah, YouTube. It's all that. So go ahead, James.
Yeah, this movie got it right. They did it well. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I heard it was very good, and I was like, okay, people say it's good. This was a movie that I think lived up to the hype, in my opinion, because it threw me off. This movie is very good at misdirection. A lot of red herrings in this shit. You would think that it's a good mystery because you're trying to figure out what happened to the girl. You get one idea because of something that was said, but that's totally wrong. Then you get another idea because of certain things, certain clues that were left. Then you get another idea. Your mind just starts going all over the place. And then the actual ending, the actual real truth behind it is what catches you off guard. It's one thing you didn't really expect. I did have some suspicion, but it was very little, and then it was just diminished. Something else happened. I just forgot all about that. Very well done. I enjoyed it. Only thing that I did not like was it tricked me. To be honest with you, it tricked me like shit. I pride myself in figuring out movies within 20 to 30 minutes. I couldn't figure this out for anything. I came up with so many different scenarios. I mean, the pacing was actually pretty good, too.
All right. So I didn't like it as much as you did. I did like the movie. So eventually the aesthetic of all this involving technology started to wear on me. There should have been a point where maybe it should have kind of cut over to a traditional movie. The movie's trying to accomplish something. It's trying to use technology. There's a point where he starts installing the equivalent to like Nest cams or drop cams in somebody's house just so you can kind of monitor what they're doing. And
to have proof.
Yeah. And one thing I will say that it does capture well is the trollish nature of the internet. So there's a point where because he can't find his daughter, because she's been missing for several weeks, the idiotic nature of the internet, people have opinions and people are like,
her father killed her.
Yeah, like the father killed her. She's on this D.
Right. I'm her pimp. And, all this stuff. But the thing about it, it made it true to form. Because this is real life. That's one thing I liked. And I mean, I see what you're saying, Barry, that, after a while, the technology was kind of A little bit too much. Even when he was driving to the location, they showed a GPS. That's how serious this joint was. All types of form of technology to make this film, which is kind of cool. I like it, but I do understand why Barry said that it was a little bit too much.
Yeah. So
it was innovative, but just too much. I agree.
Yeah, and the twist in the movie, I kind of saw it coming.
I agree. I mean, there's certain things that kind of led me to believe what you're talking about, but we can't really get into detail about that, but I'll explain at another time why it was on my radar, because certain things that was happening wasn't part of procedure. Like I said, something happened after that to kind of get me off of that trail.
So, James, what score would you give Searching?
At first, I had it at a higher score, but then after you brought up your point, which is a very valid point, at the same time, I enjoyed it because it was innovative, it was different. But after a while, you're like, damn, I mean, everything has to be like this. But like I said, I enjoyed it because it was different. And this is how these type of movies should be done. I give it a 9 because it stumped me for one.
Whoa.
It made me go through so many different scenarios of what could happen to this girl. I was invested in finding out what was happening to this girl. So because it did the movie well by using technology, it stumped me on so many levels, and it had me really interested in knowing what happened to this girl, like what's going on and all this other stuff. It also had a deeper meaning than what people will probably take from it. There was one meaning in this that you may have picked up, was that it comes to show that you don't know everybody. You don't even know the people that you feel you're the closest to.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Be honest with you, there's really no shame in that because people are going to show you what they want you to see. And it also had a very emotional side to it. To me, in my opinion, this was a well-rounded movie. It had different layers. It had a lot of different layers. So I give it a 9.
All right. I'm going to give it a 6. Way that the movie was shot just started to wear on me. It's like, all right, now this would be an intro to a movie, and then it would go into a standard cinematography style. I like the mystery part of it. I just think the nature of the acting at some points wasn't as great. And eventually, it's like John Cho is looking into his daughter's laptop, and it's like, well, what's a Tumblr? Oh, she has a Tumblr? Like, oh my god! I'm like, come on, dude, you should know what Tumblr is. Trollless nature of the internet was on full display in this movie, and it was 100% apropos, just because that does happen. You go to a comment section of any article, it'll just be a whole bunch of randomness. It did capture that well. 3 or 4 different twists towards the end of the movie. One of those I didn't see coming, but other than that, thought it was okay. Would I watch it again? No. But was it worth going to the movie theater and paying matinee prices? Yeah. That's the Beast Game Podcast. What's a Tumblr?
Oh, man.